of this call, this Q&A, we wanted to get feedback from everybody who's in the community and has been, so helpful in helping us build Mustard. And so with Luke here, we wanted to kind of show you guys what we're working on, and that is released. It is released now, but Luke wants kind of to run us through the latest features of Mustard, and kind of talk about the roadmap going forward. So it's a little bit of a sneak peek as well. Get people's feedback, understand what is really beneficial to you all. So Luke, if you could kind of run us through what you've been working on, or I mean, what all of us have been working on here at Mustard, that'd be really cool. I think the community would appreciate it here on the call.
Yeah, let's do it. So yeah, first, maybe it's best if I just kind of present where we're at with the app and show everybody, although I'm sure a lot of you on the app or a lot of you on the call are familiar with it. So let me present my screen and take you through a little video of kind of where we're at. By the way, if you have questions during the presentation of this video, just type them in the chat and then I'll answer them afterwards. You might have questions. Oh, when I go through the app, I see this, or I'm trying to do this with the app. Just pop them right there in the chat. So this is our little video about the app and about what you can do. So kind of everybody knows through the app, you record first, and then once you record, you get a report card back a little bit later. And here's the report card. You've got all Tom House's key variables. So like when me and Jordan used to go see him in person, this is the language that he would speak to us in. Hey, your stack and track's not good enough. Go do these drills for the next week to work on your stack and track. One thing that he talked a lot about was sequencing, and this is a new premium feature for us. So if you are a subscriber in app, you get sequencing charts for each side view pitch. Sequencing charts are more for the coaches that really want to dive deep into and like do their own analysis into like how their pitches are doing. But certainly anybody on this call, and especially if you're on the call with Tom last week that included sequencing, you might want to do your own analysis. Say, hey, look at these lines. There's not enough separation between them. There's not enough delay. That means that we have to work on such and such and this and this. So that's something fun that you can really go into and do your own biomechanical analysis. And there's your sequencing feature. We've got some like discussion about how to decipher the charts a little bit. And then Lindsay Bear is also writing a blog for us within the next week or two to go more in depth on sequencing if you're interested. And then next, one of our new features that hopefully some of you have seen is comparison. So being able to compare a pitch with another pitch and doing that split view. And the unique thing about our platform is because we detect when the start of leg lift is, we can actually time up your videos so that they play at the same time. They're timed up at the start of leg lift. So you can see before the comparison, they're not timed up. And then once comparison is run, they're timed up at the start of leg lift. And then one note that I want to make on this is our computer vision team has really been working hard on making sure that that first frame, that start of leg lift frame, is accurate. And so you're going to see some of that improvement, especially in more recent videos. So the more recent that you take videos, the better they're going to be timed up, because our computer vision team has been working on that. All right. those are kind of the new features in app. We're going to dive into some coaches features and kind of how you can use the app as a coach. For a coach, we know that you might want to monitor multiple athletes in your team. And that's a premium feature to do that, to kind of build out your team. It's $19.99 a month, and your players are not obligated to pay anything, though they're certainly welcome if they want access to premium features like comparison, sequencing, recovery exercises, progression. But basically, there's 3 types of athletes you might want to add to your team. You might want to add athletes who already have the app. And if that's the case, well, actually, let me skip forward a little bit. If you want to add athletes who already have the app, you're basically just going to search for their username. Boom, we got Harry Pierce. One thing to note is once you've added an athlete, that athlete's going to get notified, and then they can join your team. But you might just want to shoot them a message to say, hey, can you go into the Mustard app and make sure you accept my coaching requests so I can see your videos and everything. The next type of person you might want to add to your team is someone who doesn't have the app, but you'd like to invite them to the app. And so that's what you can do here. You type in a name, and boom, you're inviting them to the app. They'll get a notification, but they'll be added to your team in the meantime. And then the third way, which isn't on this video, is you can basically do the same thing and select no thanks in terms of the invite, and it won't send that profile to an athlete. You'll just have it so you can monitor it. That's for somebody who is maybe too young to download the app, and you just want to create a profile for them so you can organize better. So then the next question is, okay, I've got my team of athletes. What can I actually get with that? Here is what you'll have access to when you create a team. You select an athlete, and then you'll have access to all that athlete's videos. So all the analysis that they've taken in there, all their pitches. You'll be able to go in there and see that. You'll also have access to their plan. So you'll be able to see their, the drills they're supposed to work on that week. And then lastly, you'll have access to their progress. So how they've done in their weekly assessments, all their progression on each individual variable. You'll have access to all that. I'm going to stop right there for now on the video, and then I do want to go through some of the frequently asked questions that we've been getting. We sent out an email about that today, but I think it might be helpful to just go over some of it on this call. So let me do that now. All right. So one of the main questions that we've been getting, and actually I'll keep it up. One of the main questions that we've been getting is, can I, as a coach, record a weekly assessment for an athlete so that they can get their personalized drills? Now, before I answer that, I want to say 2 things. First of all, we're getting away from the term bullpen, which we're finding doesn't mean a whole lot to people, and going towards the term assessment. So you're gonna see that it says assessment in your app very shortly. The other thing I want to mention, and I'll mention again later, is you no longer have to take 3 pitches from the front and 3 from the side to get an assessment. So if you're looking to get your weekly drills, you can just take one pitch from the front and one pitch from the side, and you'll get your weekly drills. Another thing that I feel like it's important to note, currently you're just getting personalized drills. Very shortly, by the end of the quarter, you're also going to be getting a full weekly plan that recommends your everyday exercises to do. So like your warm-up exercises, everything like that. You'll have probably like 4 warm-up exercises, 4 arm care exercises, a full block. So either bands or light dumbbells, which is really your recovery exercises. And then on top of that, we'll also recommend the drills that you need to work on that week. So it'll be more of a robust weekly plan, which we're really excited about, because a lot of you have said, hey, I want a more robust weekly plan. I want you guys to tell me what I need to do every day. So really excited about those few things. Now back to the question. Can I, as a coach, record a weekly assessment for an athlete so he or she can get personalized drills? The short answer for right now is no, but it's coming soon. So at this time, a coach isn't able to record a weekly assessment for an athlete, but we're working on it. And right now, the way to do that would be, if an athlete has the app, to record through their account, so that they could get their weekly assessment. But again, getting to a weekly assessment right now is only 1 pitch from the side, 1 pitch from the front. So I think the barrier for that is a lot lower. But we don't have the ability for a coach to record that right now. Coming soon. I saw something come through in
The Smith family says that's fantastic.
That's good. That's good. We kind of went through how to add athletes to the team, so I won't go through that. In terms of what's premium and what's in the free app, through the free app, you can record a video. You can get this same report card. And then based off of this report card, you can't get sequencing. You can't get comparison either. But based off that report card, you can get your weekly plan. That's all free. The features that aren't free are adding athletes to your team. So as a coach, if you want to add athletes to your team, that's paid. If you want to track progress across multiple weeks, that's paid. Premium exercise content, so the recovery exercises, which they're right here. Those are your light dumbbells and your bands. I'm actually interested to hear what you have to say about this, but I am positive that the light dumbbells added years to my career, and just being able to learn about putting foot pounds back in your body and putting it back into your arm, I felt like had the biggest effect on my arm strength, my recovery, my everything.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about that?
It's funny, like you think you have a good warm up until you go to work out with Tom House or an NPA coach for the first time. Even if like, there are great band programs and there are great yoga and Pilates, there's all sorts of programs out there, but you really don't have a good warm up until, or like you haven't felt your shoulder fully ready to throw, until you've gone and done one of Tom's workouts. And I remember that I got in. I remember I was talking about when to start throwing as fast as you can in the progression of a workout. And I remember saying, okay, once you're done and ready to go, you should be, and picking up the baseball for the first time, you should be ready to start throwing at 100%. And I remember, Luke, your brother Rocky he was like, do you really believe this? Because he had never been and seen Tom do like the full warm-up. He'd never done the warm-up himself. And I remember him, he like came back and he's like, oh yeah, like that you should start throwing as fast as you can after this part of the warm-up.
Yeah. Well, 100%. And
Yeah.
I mean, I think, and you know, part of what we're talking about and part of what we're talking about adding to the plan isn't just you know, warming up. Some of it is, I mean, it's the recovery exercises. Those are a little bit, you know, those get you going. You know, it feels like a workout, but it's everything that you need to do to prepare to throw. Yeah, you know, a funny story I remember is when Tom House first started working with Tom Brady, Tom got a call in the middle of the night from, he didn't know what number it was from. He answered it and it was Bill Belichick. And Belichick said, what the hell are you doing with my quarterback? And Tom kind of described it to him, and Bill was like, okay, I think I understand. So then, you know, what one piece of advice would you have for me? And Tom's piece of advice was, don't throw to warm up to throw. And that really is core to what Tom teaches, which is the warming up piece. So we're very excited to start being able to recommend that to you all, so that you can start every day with that same type of warm up and really kind of be able to experience the benefits. Those recovery exercises, they're premium. The next thing that's premium is for coaches being able to see athletes' personalized drills. And then the comparison tool is premium, and this kinematic sequencing charts are premium. That's it for subscriptions. Let's see what to hit next. Does an athlete have to accept tagged video in order to view it? Yes. So if you record a video for an athlete, and that athlete has a profile, that athlete will have to accept the tag. So they'll have to like go into their app and accept it. But you as the coach, as soon as you take that video, let's say you're at practice, you take a video for your athlete, you tag them in the video. And by the way, if anybody doesn't know how to tag a video properly, just shout and chat, and I'll make sure to run through it. But if you tag someone in a video, you'll be able to see that analysis right away as soon as it's available, but they will not until they accept that tag. Might be helpful to go over how to record a proper video. Let me actually present a different and then give a little description. This is actually what our new recording flow is going to look like in action. So it'll be throw. You just have to throw one from the front, one from the side. This is like the perfect angle to throw from. You want to throw, or you want to capture from the open side of the pitcher. You want to be perpendicular with the pitcher. So basically, like if it's a lefty lined up with first base, probably about halfway between, maybe a little closer We found that like 20 to 30 feet is really the sweet spot, but you can go a little bit further back if you'd like. We have a zoom function in the app now. It's about a 2x zoom. Any more than that, the image starts getting distorted on our end, and it's hard to give you a good analysis. So there's my answer: 20 to 30 feet away, but you can go as far back as, you know, third base, even a little further. From the front view, here's where we start getting a little funky. So there's two ways you can do it. One is you can be just a little bit off center, again, 20, 30 feet away. Off center is not as good for us. The more dead on straight you are, the better. And so this is Weston Lombard. He's a pitcher at USF. What he does is, with his little mustard water bottle, he uses that as a tripod, and then he records from there. And I think that that's like a really good way to do it. The other thing I'll note is a lot of people have feelings about press and hold, which, you know, press and hold is just from the back camera. It helps to get a little bit shorter video uploaded, so you get the video uploaded faster, it comes back to you faster. It doesn't seem to be very popular. And from the front camera, you can just tap and then walk away and it records. So actually, we are going to remove press and hold in a few weeks. So press and hold is only temporary. I'm sure there's cheers from the rafters right now. People going crazy, confetti cannons going off. Yeah, we are going back to just tap instead of pressing and holding.
Wow. We got a "that's fantastic" from the Smiths. And
this is
and the Altmans also say they'd like the update requiring one pitch from each angle. The facility they use has awful cell signal and it takes forever to upload. Same. The facility I use has horrible cell signal as well.
You still work out, Jordan?
I coach.
No.
Yeah, and actually one thing I should note on that is our the retry button. Like if you had bad cell service and then we're trying to click retry, we noticed that it was a little bit finicky in the last release. So we just released again today to make sure that that button is not finicky. So it'll always work to upload when you get back on good cell service.
And Luke, I just want to say all these changes came with we had a lot of feedback calls with a lot of the community members, and we schedule feedback calls with you guys. We take the feedback, we analyze it, and then we make changes. We want to make the app better for you guys, so it could work really easy and flawless.
That's exactly right, Steve. Yeah, thank you very much for that.
We are getting a question here from Rich Merida. The question is, I pay $24.99 a month, but I don't see any of the premium content described here. Are you saying I have to pay an additional $19.99 to get the premium app content? Rich,
so that is one thing that's confusing, and we do want to sort that out, especially in the future. We have two things going on. One is in the kitchen, which is what we're doing right now, where you get access to all the Tom House weekly classes. You have access to the clinics, so where Tom is taking you through a 10-week weekly course on all the variables, and it's really getting more in depth into the variables. That's $24.99. In the app, like we said, there's a regular feature which is totally free, and then there is it's called Mustard Team. It sounds like you're a coach, and so for Mustard Team, that is $19.99, And that includes kind of what we were talking about before, which is access to the comparison tool, to the sequencing charts, to some of the premium exercises, to progression, and to track all your team in one app. So first of all, apologies for the confusion. And secondly, I hope that explained it. We're also happy to answer any questions further on this call or on info@teammstrd.com.
I'll go ahead and put my email too down in the chat. If anybody has questions, they can reach out to.
Yeah, good call. Okay, next, you see a complete report card. For a complete report card that addresses all variables, record one or more videos from the front and one from the side. So this person threw one side pitch and one front pitch. That's a complete report card. Or you can just focus on specific variables. So this person just threw one from the side. They would get about half the variables. But for some people, that's all they need. That's all they're looking for. So if you want to just throw one from the side, that's cool. You'll still get like sequencing. You'll get torque retention, timing, a few others, but you won't get some of the front variables like swivel and stabilize, which is basically, did I keep my glove in front? You won't get stack and track, which is, was I over rotated at release point or was I squared up to the target? So there's some like that. The other thing that you won't get from an incomplete report card is personalized drills. There you have it. Side and front view. Yeah, make sure to switch to the correct view. That's important. I almost don't want to bring this up, but I am going to. One thing we're working really hard on behind the scenes, and it's a little bit of a longer feature. We're hopeful it'll be in this quarter, but I think it'll probably be early next quarter, is we're working on like our computer vision, just like a general super improvement, like a 2.0 version of our computer vision, that number one, it would reduce processing times to about 30 seconds instead of, a few minutes like it is now. And then secondly, it would automatically detect whether you're side or front view. So I think that would be helpful to a lot of people. That being said, it's not in yet. So until then, make sure you have the correct side or front selected. We have a lefty. I can't believe we used the lefty as our demonstration, but there you have it.
Lefty for Tom House. There we go.
So we know right now it's press and hold to record. So we're doing that. We're switching soon and switch to front view. This is where you saw Weston's little makeshift tripod, just balancing the phone on the water bottle. So that's his real video. And then boom, your session's complete. And it'll upload, and then yeah, it'll come back with your weekly plan and everything. So.
And two, what Luke was shooting, we see a lot of videos. Sometimes we have coaches, we have parents, fellow athletes shooting like from behind the net, and sometimes that gets very difficult. You have any objects in the way. So if you guys could, have a clear view of the picture, make sure they're in the frame, and that should work out.
Yeah, and then try to keep the phone as still as possible. Yeah. Okay, I'll move on to the next question.
Right. The Altmans are very psyched about faster processing.
Okay, I like it.
It
GFF.
induced an all caps yes. So
I love it.
We got a GFF in processing. So
that's right. We've been telling you to GFF all this time. Yeah, we haven't done it. Another question we're getting from coaches is, can I add parents to my team? currently coaches aren't able to add parents to their team, but we know that it's something that coaches want to do. So we're kind of just figuring out how to do it and like how that whole ecosystem works. And then we also know that coaches want to add other coaches to their team. So maybe a head coach has an assistant coach, or a pitching coach wants to invite the head coach. We're working on that. Give us a little bit, but right now the best workaround around that is to have both like the head coach and assistant coach, if that's the scenario, to have their own paid app, and then just add the team to each one of those apps. The coaches will be able to see the same players, the same analysis, all of that. So that's my suggestion, but we'll make it a little bit easier in the future. If I mess up tagging, can I fix it later? We only have 2 more questions through the FAQ. But if you mess up tagging, can you fix it later? The answer is yes, but we want to make it better. So currently, if you take a pitch within 15 minutes of each other and it's tagged with the same athlete, that gets grouped into one session. We just assume, okay, you were throwing all these at the same time, that's one session. If something's combined into a session, you can edit who's tagged in the whole session, but you can't edit each individual pitch. So that's something we will be working on, is making sure that you can edit each individual pitch. Because some folks are, they have multiple athletes but forget to tag them in during the session, so they're not able to go back through and like filter out which one's for which athlete. And we apologize about that. We'll get that taken care of. The last thing I want to go over, which a lot of people don't know, but this is how to double check our work. Let me share my screen again. You guys see my screen and all my tabs? So if you want to see if your report card worked well and it's accurate and reliable, do this. Check your keyframes. So click on an individual pitch. You can move from a bunch of pitches to an individual one. And then check these keyframes at the bottom. Is the first frame setup position? Is that correct? Yep, Weston's in setup position. My second frame, max leg lift, is that my max leg lift? Yes, that's his max leg lift. Third, foot strike. Fourth, ball release. That all looks right to me. So then this analysis is going to be 100% correct. It's going to be taking the analysis across the different frames. And that's really how we get our analysis, is we detect the key frames and then we analyze them and give you back your results. So that's actually his analysis. Now for this one, are his keyframes correct? Yes. His max leg lift correct, foot strike, ball release. So his analysis is going to be dead on. Yeah, that's a little hack that not a lot of people know, but we hope more find out about. So I'm happy to share it. With that, I'll take a breather. And obviously happy, I'm happy to answer any questions right now. And then I can go through a couple other like features that are coming up.
Luke, Barry Smith asks, can you share that hack one more time, please?
Yes. is the answer.
Got you, Smith family.
We got you, fam. So Smiths, you familiar how you've got your like aggregated report card? That's the multiple balls. And then you click over to a single pitch report card. So boom, I've clicked over to my single pitch. Now I want to double check Mustard's work. How is the analysis? Okay. I'm going to click on my keyframes. So down here, I'm going to click on setup. Then I'm going to click on max leg lift, then foot strike, then ball release. If those keyframes look correct, then your analysis is correct. If your, I don't know, max leg lift is when you're at ball release, your report card is no good. That's the hack.
Nice. All right, we're gonna take a breather here for a sec. Does anyone have any questions, comments, feedback? We understand that this is a little bit of an explainer on kind of the higher end things of Mustard, but we also really care about what you all think about it, and also just the features that you feel are missing, or if you feel like there's anything missing from what Luke just described, please let us know.
I know there's one that I was missing from what we described, a future one. So
right.
I'm excited to see if anybody points it out. If you're able to guess the future feature that's coming this quarter, we'll send you.
I love, yeah, Altman's. I would love seeing that not everybody passes even in the big leagues as well. Everyone's got some stuff to work on.
It's true.
Rich Moretta is asking about catcher assessment, which is a great question, honestly. There are a lot of similarities, and I mean, catchers typically have even better arms because they're forced to move fast. So I'd be curious about if we thought about that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that a catcher assessment, a infielder assessment, and an outfielder assessment, like general throwing, is important for us to do. But our next sport is football. But actually, football is a lot more like catching than pitching is. So I think with like the movements that we're starting to capture, catching is definitely something that we can tackle, but it's not in our immediate roadmap. Yeah, that's all I can say.
All right.
Yeah, thanks, Rich. Don't hate me. Don't hate me for catching not coming up right now.
No hate in the chat.
But you want to submit your catching video to ITK for our mechanics calls on Wednesdays? We can have Tom take a look and assess it there in the kitchen.
For sure.
All right. So it seems that we all good. Cool. All right. So I guess to kind of finish this out, and as we think about what we're doing in 2023 with Mustard, with the app, as Luke just showed us, we got a lot of fun stuff coming, those really awesome premium features, along with the football app that's in beta. Thank you to everybody who's been testing that for us. We really appreciate that. One thing that we really wanted to do is ask the audience and ask the community is, what would you like to see from us within the kitchen, and see from the classes, because we a lot of the time we hear about people wanting classes about we get like most of the class suggestions are the mental game. We get a lot of requests for that. But especially stuff where we love when everyone shows up to the calls and asks questions and is engaged, and we're curious about what brings you all in and want you to engage live. Is it special guests like Clayton Kershaw and Lucas Giolito? Is it Tom House? We really want to know how we can improve in the kitchen for you all. If there are topics or people you'd like us to talk with, we'd love to hear about it. And if you don't have an idea, that's totally fine. If you think of one later on, hit us up on social media or in the Discord. But we just wanted to get any feedback that you guys have, because we just want to improve mustard across the board for everybody. Oh, Rich, good idea. Okay, integrations with Diamond Kinetics pitch tracker and Strike Smart baseball apps. I don't even know. So in terms of app integrations, I would assume that some of those companies have like APIs, but some of them might not. Mustard does not currently have an API. I don't know if we have plans for one, but in terms of integrating with one of those other apps, that'd be really cool, because adding in kind of what would the word be, like cross-pollinating the data. I think that'd be really interesting.
Yeah, we definitely want to partner where we're able to get spin rates and velocities for you guys, because we definitely think that the gold standard is being able to measure not just your mechanics, but then what was the outcome of them? What did it lead to? Did it lead to better spin rate? Did like better mechanics lead to more velocity?
Pocket Radar just announced a big integration across Game Changer and apps as well, so that's something to do. All right, we can definitely check that out. That's good feedback. More time with Tom House would be great. I think everybody, we all want more time with Tom. Tom is the best. I agree with that.
Do you have
Arena Football League is coming back. Luke, are we going to see your cannon back in action in the near future?
I saw it. I think we're hung up for now. We'll see.
All right.
Luke can't move anymore. Come on.
All right. Hey, Luke. I believe Luke has greatness within him and harnesses it well. All right.
Here's all
I don't
I'm
want to
gonna
hear
say.
any of that hate.
All I'm gonna say is I've retired once, but Tom Brady came back from a retirement.
I'm just saying. I don't know.
So
you better start doing some recovery drills right now.
I think that's right.
And some towel drills.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Somebody just put in the chat, more time with Coach of the Year, Jordan Kutzer. Yeah, we could do that too.
No one said that. Steve. You're making me blush, man. Yeah, the feedback from Tom is always fun. I think do you guys appreciate when we have other coaches on? I know we've had a couple of other coaches who either work within the NPA or even coaches outside of the NPA. How do you guys feel about when other coaches come in, or even athletes who come in who don't exactly follow kind of Tom's protocols and ideas? I think that's always interesting to just get a different perspective. I'd be curious about if you'd like to see more of that or less of that. It's up to you all. There is great, Trevor, I agree. There is great expertise. You guys should see, I have some videos of Luke. I used to train with Luke at USC. It was pitchers and catchers were working out at the same time. And Luke I have this video of Luke. It literally looks like he throws the ball like 1,000 feet. Like it goes.
Well, Jordan, that video is not on your computer, is it?
I actually have a separate computer that just houses that one file just to protect it.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. Anyway, well, okay. It seems like no one has any ideas in terms of how to improve. Is there anything in terms of oh, you mentioned, yeah, Rich, you mentioned this with Giolito. Didn't seem he was following Tom House's methodology. I think that's one thing that we really want to highlight. Actually, is that we want to provide the best information possible, but also the way that athletes experience this information and the way that they kind of pass it on, it doesn't necessarily always they don't necessarily always come to the same findings as Tom, and they describe it in their own ways, and that's okay. We're not about necessarily applying judgment to anyone in terms of how they go about doing their career or their mechanics even, but just providing the data and then having the conversation. So that's good feedback though, Rich.
Yeah, and what I've noticed a lot is a lot of pitchers will maybe have perfect, let's call it Tom House mechanics, because you can encapsulate a lot within those variables, and it leaves a lot of room for however you want to do it. It leaves room so that the athlete can be themselves, but it gives kind of guidelines for just how you be great. And a lot of what Giolito's talked about is just his own feelings, like how he feels getting down the mound, even if he would be at 90% on in the mustard app. He's just talking about what feelings he needs to get to in order to get there. And I think that's a good lesson for coaches too, is even if we put things in words that make sense to us, it doesn't always make sense to the feeling that the pitcher's creating. And so, we could say something that doesn't make any sense to us, but then it actually gets the result that we want with the athlete. And sometimes you have to say things in 5 different ways for like the athlete to get it. So I've always thought that that's like a really good coaching point. And I think that, Giolito would pass with flying colors in the mustard app.
Yeah, I like to say that coaching is a big discovery of language and cues. Like the whole, if you find, like, I know that Tom spends a lot of his time saying the same thing, but if you listen to him over, we've been doing this for a long time, he is trying to discover new cues, and he is trying to say it in a slightly different way, especially when someone doesn't understand or apply it in the way that we're trying to get them to do. So and I think that's the big value of having the different perspectives on, is like they like, the other thing too is like Luke said, like they might say it that way, but they might do it completely different than what they're saying. And you find that with a lot of athletes, especially younger athletes. No offense to the younger athletes on the call, but you often will find a youth athlete will say, "Oh, I'm doing that. I'm not tucking my glove. I'm going to it," or "My head is right on line." And then you go and you look at the video, and they're flying off their gloves everywhere. And so there's a big difference sometimes between what you feel and how you describe it and what you're actually doing. So we appreciate that feedback too. I'd love to hear from someone like Chris Bassett, who would fail the swivel metric in a bad way, or maybe a sidearm guy like Scotty Efros. Yeah, I think that would be cool. I think presenting all of those different perspectives and arm angles would be really cool. And I also think that there's like a whole other layer of like pitching mechanics and training decisions when your sport becomes your job. And if you are unique when it comes to even a failed metric like swivel, or maybe you aren't quite level at eyes level if you're even like sidearm or submarine. If you are unique, those guys sometimes make decisions to not fix their mechanics in the striving for a unique delivery that's more difficult to hit. And there is a weighted and balanced decision that needs to be that you need to arrive at, or you need to make to compete. So I think that would be a really fun conversation to have, because even Tom will talk about this, where he'll say, you don't pass all of them. We're shooting for perfection, but if you are the hardest to hit when you do it this way, then you kind of got to do it that way.
Yeah, and something we could get better at in the app and maybe give a guideline to is like, Tom talks about, like, if you're 90% and above, you have big league mechanics.
Yeah.
And we don't really give you that scale in app, but we probably should. I also think that something fun about like Bassett is, another thing that Tom talks about is obviously like swivel is really important for mechanics. But part of the reason why Tom really talks about glove in front is because he wants to make sure that your glove is stable at release. So it's not just about being in front. It's also about making sure that you're not swinging with it and that you're not bringing your whole body like this and then releasing the ball, what ends up being further from the plate because you've swung your arm. And so someone like Bassett, you'll see at release, his arm gets down here and then he's stable at release. So that arm really is stable at release, and he's not over rotated towards the plate like a lot of young kids will do, that you'll see that really like swing that arm. So it's a stable glove. So he kind of passes like half of it, and then obviously fills the other half of it for us, which would be keep it inside the width of your body, which just helps, especially if you don't have the strength to be able to keep your glove stable, because it does take a lot of strength to keep your glove stable when it's outside the width of your body.
Yeah. All right, we have one last question that was submitted. I love it, and I'm asking it also because I want to hold Mustard to account for this. But will there be a store for Mustard swag? Luke, the community is asking. We all want the swag. Even I want the swag.
The answer for you is, Steve. What's the answer? It's up to Steve, honestly.
Steve?
If you really want the swag, you get a hold of me. But I'm gonna have a lot more challenges coming up in Discord. I just ordered another big batch of swag, and we're gonna get that soon. So there's more swag coming. We're finally getting the ball rolling with the swag. I know a lot of people want it. They want the hats. They want the new hoodies.
You have two hoodies. I have none. Ugh.
That's what happens when you're. I get the prototypes. So yeah, just hit me up on Discord. We're gonna have more challenges. So I'm gonna give more opportunities to win some swag, and we will love some swag. And TD,
listen. Go ahead.
Now say TD, you got some swag come your way since you guys scheduled the feedback call with me.
Trevor, thank you.
So yeah, so just send me your size. I think I have your size. Actually, I'll double check. So you got to tell your dad to send me his address, and I'll send it to you.
That was all fine and dandy, but I feel like the question was avoided. Swag store. Where's it at, Steve?
A store where I can go onto the website. I can say, there's the Mustard hoodie. There's the Mustard hat, white, black, whatever color I want, rainbows. And I click purchase. Here's my size. And it gets sent to my house. I
guess back to Luke. If Luke gives me the okay.
That sounds like it is. It does sound like a product.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was easy.
We just got the okay. Okay. So we gotta put it in action now.
Okay. Now we gotta put it in action.
All right. We got You heard it here first, folks. That was a product. That's how fast decisions get made here at Mustard. That's how we make things run.
Maybe we could do an exclusive store on Discord.
We could do an exclusive store. Exactly. I love that.
Make a correction. That's how fast easy decisions get made.
Yeah. Yes.
We got to make them now.
Yeah.
All right. We can do it. All right, everybody.
I got 2 quick things I just want to say.
Okay.
First off is I just pulled up on YouTube Scott F. Ross's mechanics. He has perfect mechanics. I know he's sidearm, but look at his head at release. Would he pass balance? Yes. Does Tom care about your arm angle? Nope.
No.
Would he pass swivel? Yes.
Yeah.
He has perfect mechanics. That's all I got to say about that. The last feature that we're going to get in this quarter that I know people are going to be pumped about, import video. You'll be able to import video from your own camera roll. Try to take good video that's going to work in the app. We went over what good video is versus not good video, but import is coming back for those of us who are with us in the beta. We used to have import, but yeah, obviously the video is better. It gets analyzed more often, properly when it's taken in the app, because we set the frame rates and do everything, but we will be accepting import video soon.
If someone were to leak this on Twitter, I would bet that the Mustard account would retweet it.
Yeah, but it's, it's not in yet,
It's not in yet, but
everybody, but soon you can hold us accountable for that.
Yeah. All right. Perfect.